We're so working out. We're so bad at this.
We're so bad. But you've clicked onto the video, guys, and it is episode 2. So why not start with season 2 of Game of Thrones? I think that is a good way to start.
Mate.
We are recording this on Sunday, but we will be dropping it on Wednesdays, but there will be season 1 episode 1 of Game of Thrones dropped out, so you will have that reaction.
Season 1 of episode 1.
Season 2 of episode 1. Season 2 of episode 1 is already going to be dropped for you guys, and that will be available. You can watch that. There'll be a link in the description box down below. Also, we have recorded the second episode, so we will be talking about some of those subjects. So it's kind of spoilers, but kind of not, because you've probably watched it already.
It's not spoilers for most of you, if not all of you. I'm the only one that hasn't seen anything.
It will go over Jack's opinion after he's watched it. But you guys will still be able to see the original reaction. It will just be out in a bit of time. So obviously we had the end.
Dying at that last episode, man.
Right, but we'll before we get on to episode 2, right, I want to go over episode 1, because that's what the guys would have most likely watched straight away.
Yeah,
so before we do get on to episode 2, I want to go on to episode 1. So obviously we had the climax of Ned getting his head chopped off. Mm-hmm. And obviously all that, Daenerys having the dragons, being stranded in the desert.
Yep.
That was where everything left off. And then when we come into episode 1, it was quite quickly introduced, where we had Joffrey with Sansa and the fall. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
And then the force feeding of the wine. Yeah, so obviously you got clear cut that Joffrey's still
a job. And then after the execution of the bastards.
That's episode 2, so that's coming up. Yeah, that happens as well. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's just proven to be an absolute...
He really is, man.
He's
a great actor. Fantastic actor. Like, he portrayed it so well.
100%. I am actually quite upset he doesn't act more. I think he should act more.
Like, the fact that everyone's hating on him for the character says that he portrayed it in such a way that he became the person who he was acting as.
Yeah, if you're maybe making me able to hate you that much, then you've done your role well. Do you know what I mean? 100%. He doesn't get enough praise.
No one hated Thanos that much, for Christ's sake. Like, come on.
No one hated a certain other character that much. Well, no, they did. We'll find out about that later. Obviously, the other thing with it is, in that scene, Tyrion comes back. Tyrion comes back. Oh, motherfucking G.
Hey. Top Donny Tyrion.
Top Donny. So he comes back with the Stone Crows as the Hand of the King, but no one knows at the moment.
No one knows.
Obviously, he's first getting back, and he's got to go to the council. So he's got Bronn with him. And when he enters in the council, and he just...
Mate, I'm sorry, but him and Bronn are just like the two people you don't want to meet ever.
I do. I want to drink with them.
You want to drink with them, but you just don't want to piss them off.
You want to meet them in a friendly style, not against as an enemy.
I want to quaff some mead with them.
Quaff some mead.
Anyone know where to get mead from?
That'd be... I bet you there are quite a few places.
There's got to be a couple of places in England that sell mead.
Yeah, definitely.
Surely.
Yeah, so that's in episode 1, as well as we have Jon, and we're first seeing Jon and the Night's Watch north of the wall.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool as well.
Yeah, they found...
They're in Craster's Keep.
Yes.
So in episode 1, we're not introduced to Sam seeing the girl straight away. Yep. We are just introduced to Castra and the girls.
And you get an idea of, obviously, what he's doing.
Yeah, he's absolute dickhead. But you also get knowledge that he's saying that Mance Rayder is trying to say that he's king of north of the wall and rally all the tribes together and make a wildling army. Now, it also was said, but I don't know if you picked it up, Mance Rayder was previously a man of the Night's Watch. So he was a man of the Night's Watch who defected and went over to, well, obviously when he was probably out patrolling in the north, he probably enjoyed it and he decided to become the wildling style. But he's now trying to become a king, and that's why all the sort of clans are burning their villages and clumping together because they're planning something. But what is it? You know. So yeah, that's quite interesting. So we're going to see what happens there.
Mate, honestly, I never thought I'd actually like Game of Thrones at all. I avoided the hype.
He was a fool. He was a fool. I've been telling him for years.
It's funny. It's well done, and there is some great. Great,
so good. It's
great
so
scenes,
funny.
Great scenery.
They're really, yeah. There's some great scenery.
I really do. It's great views, man.
Yeah. Obviously, in the first episode as well, we have Arya with the Man of the Night's Watch.
Yeah.
And obviously getting introduced to Hot Pie. We find out Gendry's going to be going on the walk with them, so on and so forth. And like, I think that might have been the episode before, but obviously we see them on the road together.
Yeah, they're on the road, they're moving, obviously.
They're moving. And then obviously, yeah, we get into, I can't really remember too much else from episode 1 other than those key points.
I mean, episode 2 though.
Episode 2, obviously it's more recent in our mind as well.
Mate, I'm sorry, but the way he pulled up on the knights.
So when the gold cloaks pulled up on Arya, Gendry, and the Night's Watch camp, and he's just there, like, pulls the little, like, pocket knife right up in between his crotch, and it's just like, I can nick this artery, and that's all I would need to do. There's no one here to unnick it. Like,
take this, we need good steel.
Takes the fucking sword as well.
Sword taken.
So obviously in that episode and in that scene, or in those scenes with Arya and Gendry, we find out that Gendry's obviously figured it out, which is interesting. But we also now, everyone in the camp knows that they're after the Gendry.
Yeah.
Which is a big thing, Jack. Like, you got to think, like, if you were able to print out Gendry or secure Gendry, you would get free. Like any of those men there would happily hand him over.
Yeah.
For a chance at being free.
For a bag of gold.
Yeah, just a chance at being free. Not even a bag of gold. Or what? I don't have to go to the Night's Watch. I can sleep with women. I can have a life. Gendry, I'm sorry. You're going. Like, you're just going. Like,
would you sacrifice one of the boys if it meant that
no, not one of the boys, but if I got onto a bus and I was sitting next to someone and I started chatting to him and then a bunch of men come on and it was a prison bus and they said, you can send that inmate to death and get off the bus, and I'd only been chatting him for 10-20 minutes, I would debate doing it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Who would not sit there and think, there's a criminal, we're all doing something bad, hence why we're going up to the wall, we've all done something bad, right?
God, do I have to walk back myself, or do I get on the bus on the way home?
You just get off the bus. The bus goes off. You two both get off the bus. They take him into another car. Fuck off. The bus fucks off, and you can walk and find your way back. I am happy with that. In those times, 90% I'm doing it. Now times 50-50. There's a moral high ground. Like, there's a moral high ground in today's society. But back then, questionable.
Back then, bruv, I would have done it.
I would just
hate the cold.
It's just questionable. It's just questionable. Who's ever going to know that I've done that? Nowadays, everyone's going to know I've done that.
Exactly.
Like, absolutely insane.
Oh, God.
And then, like you said, also Joffrey killing the bastards, all the bastards.
Like that scene where he just grabs the baby out of her hand and oh god,
and then the conversation between
Littlefinger
and the top woman.
You think that
he's being so kind at the start.
He's understanding because they've got this connection, and then he just turns around and goes, I will sell you.
Literally, I'll do more than sell you. I will, like...
Oh. And the way he put it as well was just like... I know someone
couldn't make her happy.
Stupid amounts of money. I couldn't make her happy, but this man said that he'd pay a stupid amount.
To make her happy, but I don't think
he ever did it.
Yeah. But she made him happy. Like, just absolutely insane.
Whoa.
But we also got Tyrion and Varys. having a little conversation, and also Varys finding out about Shay.
Yeah, she should have been there.
She shouldn't be there.
Varys and Tyrion now going off and all. Varys is quite a good character.
Do you like him?
Yeah? I like the way that he kind of plays off with everyone. Him and Littlefinger have got that good thing.
Yeah.
Now he's got something with Tyrion.
Yeah.
He's just quite good, but I still don't trust him as far as I can throw his sack.
His ball sack, you funny fucker.
I genuinely just don't trust him. I just don't trust him.
No, you can't trust him at all. But I think it is a really nice aspect. Like, it was a nice little scene.
Yeah.
And it also showed Tyrion going, look, I'm not Ned Stark. Like I will fight dirty. Like I understand that I am an honourable person, but when we get into this type of game, it's like if I ever got into politics, or anyone gets into politics, I understand you gotta play it at the game. It's like YouTube. Every corporation or every single type of thing you that you go into will have a game and will have rules how it's played, and yeah, you can go against those, but you're going to be at such a big disadvantage. You just got to play the game with the rules that are in the game and play it the best you can, and people got to stoop to certain levels, and that is what I liked. It showed that Tyrion was really willing to like just go, look, if you threaten me, I will threaten you, and like I will actually go through with my threats, and you won't see it coming. Like it will be big. You know?
And then obviously with Sam, when they're peeling the potatoes, and he was just like, "Oh, we used to wrestle, and what you do when we did rather wrestle."
Yeah, that's
and
it.
He's just there like.
How many times did you wrestle? I don't know, as much as we could. Like,
then he finds a woman and he just looks at her. And
oh God. So, what do you think about Sam and Gilly? Gilly is her name. Gilly. Do you think Sam's just thinking with his dick?
Sam's obviously thinking with his dick because he's now in a place where there's only one person and 15 women. Everyone's being told to stay away, and he's probably in the back of his mind going, "Well, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just peeling potatoes.
I'm good guy Sam.
I'm big man Sam. I'm all good." But honestly, I feel like Sam's going to do something stupid. But now also. What's his name knows that he's...
So, Craster took the baby out to the forest.
He took the baby out to the forest, and then he was seen, and now he's been knocked out.
And now he's been knocked out. Yeah. But then, at the same time, what has he seen? What has John seen? And also, are they going to believe John? What can Craster say? Craster's knocked him out. What can he say?
Right, but it's like the first scene when Game of Thrones starts. The guy sees the Walker, and then knows what he's on about.
Well, that's
he
because
knows that there's something out there.
Because in the stories, White Walkers are in the stories. They're told us stories, so it's like myth.
Yeah.
So it's like myth, but it's told. But they so what it is like in those times. So what it is you had the first men.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have. Let me get because we're on a bit of podcast. I can actually give you a bit more information about this. So, on the land Westeros. Okay, you had the first men, you had the children of the forest, okay, and then basically what happened was we had those two people, on the island, and then I believe the Targaryens, I think it was just the Targaryens, it might have been other people, basically come from Essos, where Daenerys is, over and started making kingdoms. Okay, it was the Targaryens. They come over and they basically made kingdoms. But the first men had their own kingdoms within Westeros.
Right.
Okay. No, actually, that come after. I've ruined it. Sorry. The first men were on Westeros.
Right.
Right, and you had the children of the forest. You don't really know those yet, and then basically. They apparently made, these are the theories, they apparently made the White Walkers, and then basically that was the war. So that's what the stories is being told. And they believe it was real back then. Yeah. But obviously...
Ned's seen a White Walker, right?
No.
Who?
It was the guy who got his head chopped
Yeah,
off.
no. But Ned knows about the White Walkers and that.
No, it's just when the guy said... So what happened was, in the first episode, the guy said about the White Walkers, Ned chopped his head off, and then I think it was one of the sons was speaking to Ned, right, and he said, but the White Walkers aren't real, and he said something like, they've apparently been dead for hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah.
And you said, but he knows something. That's where you've got it
Yeah.
from. So it's more of an inkling. So it's not that he 100% knows, but he is one of the ones who doesn't necessarily think that it's 100% a myth. So like you saying, like we know as viewers, because we're seeing the White Walkers from episode 1 and now obviously in episode 2 of things, that the White Walkers are real, but you've got to understand that in the world these people don't think
it's like us
it's real.
seeing Jesus Christ walk down.
Exactly, that's what it is to them. So obviously the thing with it is John obviously is a bit more real for the people in the Night's Watch because they've seen a dead man walk.
Yeah.
So now they're a bit like, it's again like now know. You would see is someone who made water into wine. You would now go, wait, Jesus might be real. You would start following him around and start seeing what he was doing. Do you know what I mean? So they're getting curious about it. But obviously, John would say, "Oh yeah, I saw him like hand his kid over to a White Walker," and Craster could go, "What are you fucking talking about?" And then it's then John's word against his, and John's the one saying some crazy mythological thing. That's the thing. So I am interested to see what you think happens, but just keep in mind that Craster could say anything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's why he's
know.
knocked him out.
Yeah,
so he could just come up with any story, and now Craster's also said what he wanted first.
It's just going to be like one of these things where you think that he's going to say something, and then they either cuts off and goes, or at that time where they're talking about it, it's going to pop up and kill someone else.
Yeah.
So it all depends really. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be exciting.
Yeah. And then obviously we had Daenerys in episode 1 stuck in the desert.
Yeah.
And she sent her
She sent 4 riders off north, south, east, and west. And then obviously episode 2, the rider that she was.
I would say was like the main
rider came back. I can't
remember his name, but he was the one who whipped her brother and got him round the neck and got him on the floor.
He was the lead in
season 1, and he was the lead in Scorpio.
That was it, Scorpio.
Yeah, but in this series,
he's come back,
the
and his horse has come back painted. Was it painted before?
No, it wasn't painted.
No,
I think that was his blood, Jack. I don't think it was paint.
Oh,
makes sense because it was all red.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, and I think it was like
so they
tribal.
decapitated him, and then they cut his ponytail off as well, didn't they?
Yeah, but
so
the big thing. So the cutting of the table.
Yeah, I know the symbolisation of the ponytail.
What's that?
Because it's like if you have one, you cut it off if you lose battle.
Yeah, and then the head being chopped off. The issue with that is that they couldn't burn his body, so he couldn't go to the ancestors. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much how that. How did the episode end? Oh,
him getting knocked out.
Yeah. So, what do you think is going to happen in episode 3?
I generally hope that Sam gets his end away. Tyrion has some fun, and Joffrey has a heart attack.
We forgot.
Go on.
Tyrion and Bronn kicking Sir. Remember the captain of the guard?
Oh, what? Yeah.
We've missed so much. Sir Meryn.
Yeah, they get rid of him.
Was it Sir Meryn? Is it Sir Meryn? I don't think it's Sir Meryn.
Because Tyrion doesn't like the fact that he's ordered the.
So the guy who was in charge of the Gold Cloaks, who basically portrayed Ned Stark.
Yeah.
Tyrion and Bronn have basically kicked him out, sent him up to the wall. That's where he's got to go. But it's not Castle Black where Jon and that is. It's Eastwatch. So the wall's very long. Think of like Castle Black in the centre and Eastwatch over there. Over in the east. So he's got to go up there, and then obviously Bronn becoming captain of the King's Guard. Yeah. And then obviously we've got in episode 1 of season 2, Stannis is introduced, and the flaming bitch. So remember the beach.
I don't like
the beach. So we'll start off with the beach where they've got the do you know those 7 figures?
Yeah.
Right. They were the 7 gods of the 7 pointed stars.
Yeah.
Which is the religion of Westeros, and she is obviously the priestess of the Lord of Light, which is another religion, and basically they were burning the 7 gods to sacrifice their old religion for the new religion, so on and so forth. So obviously we're introduced with Stannis, and then no,
I don't like the red hair bitch. I don't like her.
No, who is the guy with the 2 missing fingers? Sir the Onion Knights has the son. We're talking to the pirates in the last episode.
Yeah. We know who he is.
No, I can't not remember his name.
You are. I'm currently not remembering his name now, but it's alright. Google is our friend.
I'm so upset with myself.
But yeah, so that was an interesting one. He's now got the pirates and 30 ships involved, so I'm looking forward to that sort of battle scene.
You obviously have them on the beach.
Yeah.
You have the guy with the missing fingers in his hand, yeah. The good name will come to me at some point. You have the old man talking to him saying that the priest is a bad thing, and then it cuts to them at the table. Yeah. And they're having a wine. Yeah. And obviously...
she didn't die from the poison.
She didn't die from the poison, but he did.
Yeah, so it kind of makes me think,
Yeah, she's a bit...
And now she's got the other geezer to plough her on the table.
And now she's got Stannis to plough her on the table.
Because he's a fucking simp.
Stannis definitely ain't no simp. Stannis.
But all she's done is whisper in her ear, I can give you a son, even though it's not guaranteed.
I don't think you realise how much a son is valuable in those times.
Yeah, I know it is. I know, but obviously I'm thinking about now is, this bird has basically kissed him on the back of the neck, breathed down his neck, and he's just gone... I think you
guys should let us know. I think you guys should definitely let us know if he's a simp or not, because he thinks Stannis Baratheon's a simp.
Bro, she's just whispered in her ear, like in his ear, I can give you a son. That's like someone doing a sexy chocolate advert.
I don't think it was the whisper in the ear. I think it was the fucking way she looked, Jack. Have you seen his wife? Have you seen her? And also, she's saying that she can give you a son. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Again, we're not talking about today.
Yeah, I know.
We're talking about then.
Yeah,
and it's a show. And also, he's a royal and he needs an heir.
Yeah.
This other...
Yeah.
How many fucking wives did Henry take to get an heir?
Yeah, but if he's smart,
If we go through our history, I am telling you now, there will be name after name after name after name of successful generals who have gotten rid of a wife because they haven't given them a male heir.
Oh, 100%.
And that's what we're talking in that thing. He ain't no simp.
But none of them.
Would you say any of them
have survived?
Right, but would you say that the man's a simp for going for him?
I just think that he could have held off a little bit longer because she's got motive. It's clear motive.
Because there's no way you would have held off.
It's clear motive. I just don't like her. I don't like her.
You would have had her on that table eating that pussy out.
I would not. I have strength. Thank you very much.
No. That's exactly what you've been doing. Just no. And you know you would have.
What, like a pedigree chum advert?
Yeah.
No.
She is sus though.
Yeah, she's sus. I don't like her. I don't trust her. No.
What do you think of Stannis then? Do you think he's a simp? Do you not liking him? What do you think of the character?
I need to see him a bit more in action to see Wagwan.
Yeah, I
need to see more. Because right now he's just standing around the table waffling.
Yeah.
Playing on some bird. So. I need to see more.
Okay. But he is technically the true rightful heir.
Yes, this is very true. I want to see how he goes. I want to see how he acts and how he takes on the next few episodes. See what he does. Because he could just piss it all up the wall. I've done it before. Not in the right true heir, but...
You have. So with that in mind, with Stannis, so we want to find out, what do you think is going to happen with Jon? That's the main question. What do you think is going to happen with Jon? Do you think there's going to be any movement in the capital?
I want there to be, but at the same time, I'm not sure. I want to see more of it. Because
obviously the risks we've got in, so I'd say the sort of things that you need to sort of look for is, I say with me and you, we're supporting Tyrion, from some of the vibe we're sort of getting. So the problem that we've got in the capital is obviously how Tyrion is going to deal with his sister and how that political situation. Obviously, yeah, we have Cersei and Tyrion having their situation. And then just seeing how he's going to be able to be handled the king will be interesting, and handling Joffrey. What do you think? Is there any big things you think Joffrey's going to do?
Yeah, Joffrey's going to do a couple of big things, I reckon. But at the same time, I want Tyrion just to be able to slap Joffrey down. No,
just
not happening.
Yeah. How bad do you feel for Sansa? Do you think she's been left out a little bit, or?
I think Sansa's understood now that he's gone behind her back.
Yeah.
Because he's king, he doesn't care. He's got power. Yeah. You're now stuck. You're fucked.
Yeah.
And obviously, what's his name? Guy that stopped her from pushing him off the ledge.
The Hound. Yes.
Yeah, like he's obviously seen. He knows. Okay, she just watched their old man get beheaded, and now she thinks she wants.
Even Tyrion, like when Tyrion come back, he was like, "I'm sorry for your father," and Joffrey was like, "He was a traitor," and Tyrion was like, "But he was her father."
Yeah, and even then, when she said about the traitor thing, you see the look like, you don't mean that.
Yeah.
I know you don't.
Yeah, that's it.
So I'm hoping.
And even the Hound saved her in that same scene, because obviously
the Hound stopped her from pushing him over.
No, so in episode that was in episode 9 of season 1, but in this one, when the jester, the fat knight, she goes, "Oh, you can't," and he snaps her, goes, "What do you mean I can't? I'm the king." And she comes up with that funny line of, "Oh, it's bad to kill someone on your name day," obviously the birthday. Yeah. And then the Hound's like, "Oh no, that is true." He knows it's not. The Hound has definitely killed someone on his birthday.
The Hound has probably done it.
The Hound has killed many people on his birthday. For sure. So
I'm just fully looking forward to the rest of the series.
So good. We have so much to go.
Definitely,
so many more things.
Definitely.
We'll probably be recording episode 3 Tuesday, so that'd be very interesting. Yeah. Definitely looking forward to that. Hannibal, ambushing king.
It's starting. I think now is the downfall.
Yeah,
I think now is the downfall for Hannibal. It's starting to go down.
Yeah.
But
but it started really well.
It's the tactics and his ability to move an entire army in complete silence. The logistics of everything in the battlefields and the strategical movements, just insane for the time and era.
It's insane. So obviously we start with him crossing the Alps. So obviously the main thing I'll quickly say is, before I actually start from the beginning, is I'm so impressed that he's been able to do this with only being able to reinforce his army with Gallic tribes and people on the Italian peninsula. So he got through the Alps, and once he finished his Alps, he didn't get any more support from men from Carthage. All the rest of the support were from the people that he rallied together once he was past the Alps and on the Italian peninsula. Like, that's so impressive to do all of these feats without having all your men like additional men added to your force. You went in there, this is what you had, and you had to make use of it, and you could only sort of up the numbers with what you find out throughout the way. Just absolutely insane. The way he's getting the Gallic tribe sort of to rally to him, absolutely impressive. I definitely think that I don't know if it was the first ambush, but the ambush that really stuck out to me was when they were on the coast Yeah, they were on the coast where the Romans were walking along this narrow path, and it had the mountain up on this side and then the coast of water, right? And then basically Hannibal come from the woods, like in the middle of the night, and then come down the hill and trapped them all behind against the water. That one was absolutely crazy.
I just think that for the time it was, and his ability to do that, I just don't see how you would have been able to do it in that era of time. I really just see that is a man feat, like a power of man feat. That
it is a big
insane.
thing.
I just don't understand it. It's fucking brilliant.
But what part? The tactics themselves, or implementing the tactics?
I think all of it. The fact that he can implement it alone, is just godly. Found it here.
Yeah.
Distinguished for his ability to determine both his and his opponent's respective strengths and weaknesses, to plan the battles accordingly.
Yeah. Okay, so he does. Yeah, he has a really good ability to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to look at his opponents and see where the weaknesses are and implement those on them. I think it was a real good feat where what he was able to do as well.
Yeah.
Is able to take Gallic tribesmen within there who would have a lack of disciplinary, and then enforce a better disciplinary to then implement the tactics that he wanted. You know, because obviously it's different if you have men who are just solely on your... Sorry, I think I'm a bit out of the way. Cool. Yeah, it's a bit different to get men who are solely within your country and you've trained up from day dot to implement the tactics that you have used. But to get men who aren't used to your tactics to do those and be as good as you is the difficult part, you know. I definitely am interested to see what the consoles are going to do to fight him now, because like you said, I definitely think this is the turning point. Obviously, we've got the idea that the Carthaginian Empire isn't too happy with the war, or some sides of it isn't too happy with the war.
Yeah. What was his name? I'll name it up quickly.
Yeah.
What was his name? Harrows?
I think it was Harrows, you know. I think
Harrows or something, and just him in the council.
Hannos. Yeah,
Hannos a second. Him in the council
Yeah.
was just like, what is?
2 seconds.
Hannos and the council, like he was really playing it against.
Yeah,
it.
he was really playing against the commander that Hannibal sent over. He didn't really have too much to say. It is interesting. Now the thing with it is, do you think when Fabius was in charge and he was doing the Fabius strategy, do you think that was the best plan at that point in time?
Probably at that point in time, maybe, because I don't think there was another like strategy plan around that could have worked as well as it did. But I think they needed to change it up.
They did.
Because if your enemy learns your strategy enough, they're easily going to take advantage, I feel.
Yeah. Remember that feat where he was able to just like get out of when he was cornered? That was a big one. When he was cornered and he was able to get away from Fabius, that was a big one. Yeah. That was a surprise. Hannibal has done some amazing feats. And I think was it the most recent one, or no, it was the Battle of Cannae.
The Battle of Cannae, that was the one where he hid his most
on the sides in the
and
plain
he got
battle.
all of them back. Like that was incredible.
That one was big. That was a big feat. Yeah, I really enjoyed that episode. I'm looking forward to finding out what happens in the next
definitely.
one, for sure.
Something we need to do more videos on.
Yeah.
Count Dankula.
Count Dankula, indeed. Yeah, I really enjoyed that last episode.
Oh man, that actually had me dying inside.
It was so good. I enjoyed the whole thing. It honestly had me in stitches from the start. We've got the clip of you finding out about Hitler tweaking. I'll show you that later.
Mate,
I've got some funny. Yeah, it was.
I didn't know that was a video of Hitler tweaking.
It's so funny.
But honestly, like the way it was presented as well, like. We don't know the accounts, but this is the accounts of what he believes to have happened. And him guy losing his shit against a tree.
Because skiing into the middle of the Soviet army,
right,
and they're just looking around, just like, oh, this is not. I'm just going to continue. I'm just going to continue. Just
at that point, if you were one of these Soviet soldiers, like, what were you going through?
Like how
head?
Dankula said, it's like you see this man approaching so confidently towards you, you're not going to shoot him because you're going to think he's your man. And then after a few minutes, you see him leave. It's not until you see him leave that you're like, that did not just happen. Because I would be the guy to let him go past. Like, I'd be like, you're right, my man.
You just like, what's up, man? You good?
Yeah.
Just throw him like, was he wearing a Soviet uniform or was he wearing someone else's?
Yeah. Literally, me and you just looking at each other like, so I don't know. Should we get on our skis and go check it?
It's like the two English guys, Pirates of the Caribbean, who are somehow in like pretty much every single film for like a few bits as the comic relief.
What?
The two British soldiers in Pirates of the Caribbean that are like the comic relief. That's me and you, mate.
The Lost Eye and the chubby one.
No, not the pirates. The two English soldiers that ended up on the ship when the first two that Sparrowman.
Yes.
And they end up on the pirate ship. And they're like, we've got to do this, and they storm the ship to get them two, man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Me and you are just going to get into some conversation, and he's just going to walk around us.
That's so funny. So he does have some more videos though. The Craze, the Cray brothers is an interesting one. That looks
interesting.
The story of the Craze is
that's
funny.
A good story.
He also has a story about the Red Baron as well. So I think that one would be quite interesting.
That would be an interesting one to watch from his perspective.
From his
as well.
perspective, because obviously it'd be a good comedy one.
Yeah.
The Great Nordic Biker Wars.
Nordic biker, that would be interesting.
Yeah,
that sounds interesting.
Yeah, that does. That
does sound interesting. I've seen a few of his videos, like his earlier ones.
Yeah. Our friend, one of our close friends, showed it to us when back at one of my flats. That's a story, and that place has plenty of stories. We'll come to those at some point. If
walls could talk, they'd be in counselling.
We'd be in prison.
Do you know the videos where it's just like when the lads group chat gets leaked and it's all of us are just like shaking profusely trying to drink? Oh.
If our chat gets leaked, I'm going.
Oh mate,
I'm
emigrating.
Brazil,
I'm gone.
Brazil maybe.
Nah, I'm gonna go live in Australian outback. I'll build myself like a little wooden hut. 400 miles away from the nearest town.
Yeah, then they're all wondering what I... It's like, how bad are these boys? No, we're okay. There's nothing that bad. Don't go looking. He's also... Count Dankula also has a series, The Razor Gangs of Glasgow. I think that one's going to be interesting.
That would be cool.
So I definitely... There are 4 series that I like the look of and sound of.
Okay.
Is there any that you really
I haven't had a look yet. But
no, out of those 4, the Craze, the Razor Gangs, the Nordic Bike Wars, or the Red Baron.
Probably the Nordic Bike Wars, and I'd want to see the perspective
of the Red Baron. Yeah, I definitely think so. I definitely think Red Baron would be probably the next one we react to.
Yeah.
If you want that to be the case, let us know in the comments box down below. If you have a different opinion, then please also drop it in the comments box down below. We started Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
That's going to be dropping next. Well, you've probably already seen it. So we were introduced to 2 drivers in this episode.
Only 2 drivers. I'm no interest in F1 at all. I can't even lie.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... I love driving, but F1 isn't... I never really got into it.
So I think you've got to give it a couple more episodes.
You've
got to remember you're also not able to binge it.
Yes. Yeah, I've got to wait. So, yeah. Like, slowly getting introduced to 2, 3 drivers at a time.
Yeah.
I like that, slow pace.
Yeah. And also what they'll do is, like, in an episode or 2, they'll make it a bit more connective. So there might be, on a race day, even though they'll be fighting for a lower pace, it might be 2 drivers that from the same country. So it might be a younger driver and an older driver from the same country. So it's like the younger one's trying to surpass him. So even though it's a lower fight, it means a lot because it's like the entrance of a new generation.
The new generation
and
of
stuff like this. And you'll really start to understand why, like when I watch F1, like I'm looking at the leaderboard all the time, because sometimes you'll just go, Ghazi's just gone from like 7th to 4th, not 7th. Let's say Ghazi's gone from like 10th to 7th. Do you know what I mean? And like he's a lower team, and like, it doesn't mean a lot for someone who's not watching it, but someone who pays attention, you're like, he's just got himself 2 points, which is going to put him ahead this person in the leaderboards. It's only going to be 1 point, but for this championship, that's who he's trying to beat this year. Do you know what I mean? Like last year, he beat this person.
If you're lower down in the ranks, then you're going for someone just a little bit higher up in the ranks. Your target is someone just above you.
Yeah, you'll see someone like last year or beat someone else, and then they'll go, right, I need to beat this person.
Yeah, that's their target. And the person that got beat by them, their target is to get on top of them.
So, like, at the start of the season, like, the commentators will start going, they'll start letting you know who's fighting who. And the little battles get really, really interesting. And that's why when the cameras switch to the fights in the lower fields, you're actually enjoying them because you know what you're fighting for. So it'll go to these 2 random drivers, and you're like, why are we watching an 8th and 9th fight here when like two's like up in lead, and you're like, because it's actually quite important, this means a lot here, you know, that type of thing. But
speaking of fights, my god, I wish I put money on it. I should have put money on it. KSI first round knockout.
It was insane. 2 minutes 18 seconds. You only watched the highlights. I watched the whole thing.
Bro,
I stayed up.
I saw the highlights when I got in bed, and I was just like, no.
Oh mate,
no.
Yeah.
And it was just a clean. He just jumped in with a right and come in with a left.
Yeah, man. The whole fight. So it was quite a quick fight.
I did watch it. Yeah. Like the after.
Yeah.
Like all of that. And I was watching, I was like, I thought he wasn't that bad, you know?
So the thing with it is Temp had a 4-inch reach. Yeah. Right? And he was really using that at the start. You could see for that first minute, he was using it, and you could see JJ getting frustrated.
Was you seeing him get out of breath? Or?
Not out of breath. Like, he was getting frustrated because he was making his swings. Yeah. And he could see they weren't connecting because he didn't have the reach.
He needed to get closer.
And he was getting frustrated. So when I think you saw him, like... He was like, for fuck's sake, more than anything. I think he was getting pissed off.
That aggression built up.
It built up. So that was like, you could see, after like a minute of him not being able to land punches, I think Temper got maybe 1 on him. And I think that's when he literally, like, I looked up at the screen, like, I was watching it. He takes a step back, does a little hop, right? And Temper lets down his guard, and then that's when he goes for the 1-2 out of nowhere. And I was literally like, oh, wow. It's over? Is it over? Did you see how quick, like, what happened?
Yeah. So, obviously, when he goes down, Temper gets back up. Yeah. But he's all over the place.
He wobbles, falls back down, then he gets back up.
Yeah. And the ref is like,
yeah. Because what happens is, obviously, he gets up onto all fours, he goes to get up slightly, doesn't get onto his feet, falls back down. That's when the ref calls it. But then as the ref calls it, he gets straight back up.
But he's just not there.
I was quite surprised. It was a nasty 1-2. It was a left-right, wasn't it?
Right-left.
Or was it right-left?
Yeah. So he come in first with a right, and then you see the left come in.
Yeah, boom. Yeah. He just got flat.
I mean, it will be interesting now to see what's going on with him and Jake Paul. Obviously, he did call him out at the end of it.
But that's not for the next fight. Yeah, no. So he wants one more fight, then Jake Paul.
Yeah, I really
who was the? I was watching it, and there was a guy who got up on the stage. So at the end of it, they go down to the end of the walkway, and like KSI was talking about like his fight and so on and so forth. And I can't remember. Someone got up onto the stage and offered him out in May.
What, just a random person?
No. Quite a famous person.
Okay.
Not famous, but there was like, I think someone within the YouTube boxing community.
Okay.
Yeah, it basically offered him out. And obviously JJ was saying, yeah, but he's got to approve it with his legal team and stuff like that first. Get a contract on the table. So we'll see if that happens, or if we'll see it would be Slim or someone else. I'm not really too sure. Like a lot of people say Slim's quite good, but Slim apparently had a bit of difficulty in the fight before. That was ages ago.
That was 2022.
Anyway, he got offered out, and
I'll have a little look into that and see who it was. It'd be interesting to see the next one.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So a bit more about ourselves. I think we should have another one of our crazy story times. Okay.
Should we? Oh God.
I think we should.
We've got to be careful about this.
Yeah.
So it was in a gambling establishment, and it was.
So we'll lay it. Well, I'll lay the bit of sim. So what we're gonna do is we've got a bit of a story time for you. So this is like a big group of our friends. This is one of our drunk fun times, should we say? So it was the middle of lockdown. All right, the start
2020 COVID.
Yeah,
dead as shit.
It was so bad, and
we all had severe drinking problems at this point.
So we obviously hadn't been able to meet. And we should make this clear. So not only did we have drinking problems, we also had codependency problems of each other. So we would like meet up nearly every day and always hang around with each other, like after work, so on and so forth. It was constantly, and there was around about like 10 of us in this group, and it would be constantly. So we were always chilling around each other. So obviously lockdown happened, and none of us saw anyone, and we just become solo alcoholics. We might have like met up on like Discord or something like that.
We got drunk on Discord quite a few times.
Yeah, but we were still pretty bored and antisocial and missing like each other. Do you know what I mean? Because we would always chill with each other. So it got to a point where we just couldn't do it anymore. And an associate of ours or a friend of ours, like worked out of the area at this gambling establishment and had access to the upstairs area.
It was a disused building above it and around it.
So we arranged to travel, obviously.
It's quite hard getting 10 of us, let alone...
in lockdown.
Getting a few of us to meet up...
Obviously, we was not supposed to do this at all.
Getting a few of us to meet up it can be a challenge now. But getting 10 of us to travel a distance, all us like together, and then kind of split it up, getting closer to it.
Then also we had a rather large speaker we had to transport as well and stuff like this. So anyway, we arranged to meet up at this establishment, and we get there, and like it is in the middle of this like town area. So like normally you're thinking, what? That's crazy, but it's lockdown. So like all of these shops are closed.
Everywhere is closed,
and there's no like residential area anywhere, and it's empty. So we can be loud and not really like. Just get away with it. It was insane. So we get to the establishment and we're like entering one by one, getting taken upstairs, and then once everyone's sort of there, the night is where it really starts. It got
really, really heavy. So obviously, being serious drinkers or problematic drinkers, like we just keep going. We start it off, get the music going, get a bit of a jive on, get moving. And then we just started, like, we're like, okay, let's play a game, roll in cigarettes.
And devil's lettuce.
Making sure we've got some good sweeteners around. And, having a good time. And we start just playing Never Have I Ever, and that soon turns into...
Because the thing with our Never Have I Ever is we know what's going to make the other people drink. So we're just going to say that, because we know everyone so well. So it's like... I know this question will not make me drink, but make everyone else drink. So I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, you just want to get drunk. That's the whole idea.
And the funniest thing with it as well is you can call people out. So you can see the people who didn't want to drink too quick, too heavy, too quick, and they'll just sit there and they'll be like, "No, I ain't done that." And everyone looks and just like, "No, we know, drink that drink." Drink it. We know your dirty deeds. You're not in a new group.
So it's about a couple of hours in at this point. I've done a bottle of gin. You've done a bottle of Red Stag.
Oh, definitely.
We've done multiple crates of beer, and
obviously, like I said, there was around about 10 of us, and the vibes are good. We're flowing around. Blizzard blaring. We were smoking inside the venue as well. There was no going out.
We were literally just getting hotboxing this entire room.
We probably started around about 8 o'clock, and then this turned out that after the Never Have I Ever and the intro of the night, I would say, sort of come to an end. That's around about 10 o'clock that sort of intro of the period.
The intro period ended, and more serious things started to occur.
And how we know and we can mark that off is because the end of the good starting point is when everyone in the group, apart from one person, started getting on a good level and was like, okay, I'm about half of my alcohol deep, maybe a bit more, I need to go re-up. One person was a bit too drunk.
Everyone's got this friend that just thinks they can drink, and it turns out they can't.
Just cannot keep up.
They can't keep up. They think they can, but just give up. You can't. Admit when you can't drink anymore. It's not a problem.
So
drink responsibly.
We're all in this room, and there's chairs. Shit face. There's chairs in like a circle. People are in different groups chatting, and this one friend is sitting on this chair, like this, just passed
friend
out.
One would
friend
call
one,
him, right? I'm sitting opposite him, and I'll get him a bin bag, like a full-on bin bag, and I'll just go over to him. I'll put it next to him, and I'm right. I'm gonna go take a shit. I'll be back in a minute. I've gone to the toilet, had a shit, come back, and
It's as you come back in.
It's as I come back in. It's everyone's like, oh. I'm like, what? And then I've looked over, and he's sitting there, and he's just covered in sick.
So let me explain it from our point of view.
I gave you a bin bag.
It's so funny. So we're all standing around. Obviously, Jack's gone out to this toilet, which is in another room. So he's had to leave the main room. Where
I've had to leave
drinking.
the main room because it's a building where there's a few corridors and other like rooms and that, but we're all in the main room. I've gone down the corridor, down to the toilets, come out, and they're screaming. I'm like, getting. Obviously they're looking, and I've come in, and friend one is sitting there, and he's still slouched over like that, and I'm pretty sure he threw up on himself when I walked in the room.
So what happened from our point of view, okay, is we're obviously all standing in the room. You're outside, you're coming in, right? And one of the other friends has basically like looked at friend one and said, "Are you good? Cuz, you good? Are you all right?" You know, and he's sort of like mumbling and so on and so forth. Like he was asleep, right? And like he was sort of asleep and just like monged out. And then started mumbling and like coming to. So this is where we thought, are you good? There's a bag and so on and so forth. So we've started going, are you good? Like, are you all right? And he hasn't said anything. He's just kind of gone from like this, right? And this is where Jack sort of walked in. But he's come like this and he's just gone, "Bleh!" Right? But it wasn't like projectile. It was like sludge. Just black sludge. Just, like just dripping down like in his beard and then just like all down his top, right? And then we had friend number 2, alright, who's basically there's 3 people, so we have friend number 3 who's recording the situation as this has happened and started being sick. They've instantly got their phone out and started recording. And then we have friend 2 who's just kind of like just in shock this is happening, that this man has not moved to like remove this vomit, and he's just kind of like with another friend, and there's a video where it's panned to the sick on our friend's jacket and then pans to our friend's face, and he's just like just in shock, like cannot believe that our friend has just vomited on himself, and he's not cleaning it up. He's vomited, and we're all going, are you good? Are you, like fam, you good? Friend number 1, you good? And he's gone, yeah, I'm right. And then just sits there with the sick on him for another like 5 minutes, and we're all just like, what are you doing?
At this point,
and as we know that was only the start of our night.
He's still being sick when I've walked in the room.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're a child. What are you doing, man?
This wasn't even.
This is about
2. This was about 2 hours in as well. Like I said, this is the start of our evening.
This is the start of it, and we're like, he's at this point. He's gone home. He's left at this point. There's no way he's staying.
No.
So he's gone home to like get changed, but he ain't coming back. There's no way he's getting back.
No. We continue our night, and it just gets heavier and heavier and heavier. We're like all sitting around, just, you know what I mean, normal things, having stories, having laughing jokes, cracking jokes.
People dancing, just having a good time.
dancing,
One
drinking.
of our friends gets a bit like, he really, really likes to dance. Like
friend number 5.
Friend number 5. Friend number 5 likes to dance, but he likes to dance loosely. He likes to feel free when he dances. So first comes
Motherfucker's just naked. Motherfucker's just naked. Every time we're getting pissed, there's one song. You'll put it on, he'll look at you, and he go, boys, you don't want it. And of course, we're British. We just like ripping
We want it.
We want it,
son.
We just want all the jokes all the time, and that is it. Just one after one, the pieces start coming off.
I'm sure those trousers were wet with Velcro back in. And he's
just Velcro. And we are going to buy a friend number 5 Velcro bottoms.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah,
so he's just got his cock out at this point.
Honestly, it's just
going like that over
literally,
his crotch, and he swaps.
He gives it a second, so you can see it for a second. Do you know what I mean? There are females involved as well. Obviously, they're loving it as well. They're laughing and joking.
Fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, that's absolutely jokes. And then
a hole in the wall.
Yeah, so we found a little dent in a wall. And again, at this point, we're getting towards the end of the night. We are not sober anymore at all.
This is the part. This is
alcohol.
I feel like this is the part of the house party stage that you never got to do because you either got thrown out early because the parents come back.
Yeah.
Or
so again, like I
went to a house party when I was a kid. Yeah, this kid had 3 ovens built into his wall.
Bloody hell, that's a lot.
3!
Yeah, that's overkill. So we find this like dent in a wall, and I don't remember who started it, but
I'm pretty sure it was one of the girls who started punching it first.
I jumped through it.
No, she wanted to make it bigger, so then you decided, let's see if I can get through it.
That was it. So what's happened is like they started making this dent bigger, and then in the end the dent just become a hole, and it just kept on getting bigger. Like people were running at it, like slamming against it.
We were determined to
for
get
a
this
half
wall
hour. We were just wrecking this wall, and then in the end we got like a hole, and I've gone through it, and I've gone, I can fit through that. They've all gone, no, there is no way.
You were quite large at this point.
I was larger than I am now. And I've literally gone to the back of the wall, run at it, and I've done a Superman. Literally, but it was so smooth. Like, I was even surprised.
It went
I literally went like that, just go straight through this hole. Obviously, I make it bigger. And then it was like, we destroyed it. We absolutely ruined it.
I can't believe.
Because then other people were going through it as well.
Everyone was going through it. I'm pretty sure we made the wall a door at one point. It's just there was just so much more things we're not allowed to say on YouTube.
Oh yeah, honestly, we're trying to keep a lot of things out. We terrorised this place.
So yeah, what time did we all leave that in the morning?
I think it was ridiculous. I think it was 5, 6 o'clock.
5, 6 o'clock in the morning. We all had to leave. Like it was quite bait, like leaving. But we left in groups. Like,
yeah. We had
2,
to like
3 at a time,
stagnate,
and then we all kind of like met at this bus stop or whatever. And I don't think anyone's ever seen the state of. If you ever get on public transport when you are off your tits on the verge of coming down, while after doing stupid, and you've still got wall, you've got crumbs of wall in your pocket. People on the bus and that.
We were okay because it was locked down.
Yeah,
so the trains were so empty. It was like desperate people who had to go to work.
But when people were just looking at you,
it was so bad.
The bus driver was just like.
We were so loud. We also we didn't even mention we had this speaker. We had this speaker, and this speaker is an expensive speaker. It's something you would get a night.
It got stuck in customs because of a friend's history.
So the thing with it is because it was like so big, we had it like full blast all night.
How big would you say? I reckon it's up to waist height.
Yeah, I reckon give it sort of an estimate. It was probably about that big. You know? Maybe back there or something like that. But it's a solid, wide speaker. Absolutely massive. And we just rinsed it. That was going. We were smoking. Everyone was laughing and joking. It was one of our better nights. Everyone was there. Everyone was
definitely
involved.
One of our better nights.
Just such a good vibe. Such a good atmosphere. One of our many stories.
And if you are wondering, I went back with the person who had the keys to the establishment, and we tidied it up the next morning because obviously we didn't want any evidence left.
It's hard to leave no evidence without there's a hole in the fucking wall.
I think we must have left like 7-8 limb bags full of cans of beer, bottles of booze, drywall, everything.
So
But yeah,
bad.
we tidied it up, and that was it, man. Christ! I left there thinking there is no way we could do this again.
And there you go. I think that's your answer if we done it again or not.
Yeah.
So many stories from our history. There's plenty more.
Well, we'll get some of our boys on.
Yeah,
You can hear
definitely.
from some of their points of view. We need to get Ash on, and he needs to explain the first night he ever went out with us.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Many stories from our flat, which we mentioned a bit earlier.
The old flat is the trap flat. Oh God.
Oh God, indeed.
Oh God.
Come back from our Devil Lettuce break. Just so a little part 2 for the podcast is just like what we're going to do is like memes and posts and bits and pieces that we've seen throughout the week that we sort of thought funny. Instead of sending it to each other, we're sort of just going to save them up over the week and sort of just go over them now. So I've got one for you, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, go on, you go first.
Go on then, okay. Alright. So it's like a facepalm one, and it's like this girl messages a guy on Tinder.
Yeah.
It's like, yo dude, you kind of look like my first husband, but you know, I've never been married before. And he's gone, that's actually a first. Like, I've never had someone like compare me to someone else. My man didn't get the joke at all. Did not get the joke at all. Do you know what I mean? She's literally saying to you, like, I want you to be my first husband. Do you know what I mean? And my man's just like, I've never been compared to anyone else before. She's never had a first fucking husband, you fucking melt. You had a chance and you blew it. That's 9 times out of 10 men's problems. Is they have a chance, but they just blow it. Big time. Yeah. I've seen you wreck so many chances.
Oh, I know what honestly, like, I get home after I do it and I'm like,
oh, that was a real opportunity there. If I just didn't let the tism take over.
Well, that was a really nice girl. I am such a retard.
Yeah, I shouldn't have called her dumb. I shouldn't have called her a slut, which I have heard you say before.
No.
That laugh confirms it all. Literally, he'll be chatting to a girl, they're hitting it off, and you'll be like, yeah, but that's a bit slutty though, isn't it?
It was going, yeah, but
it was going well. You're right. What you was about?
I say things like, you know, I'm like, oh, that's a bit slutty. Oh, no, I shouldn't have said that in my mind. I shouldn't have said that, and then it just goes downhill, and I'm just like, well, I give up.
Just give up.
I just give up, man. Honestly, it never goes well. It really doesn't. Right.
Fucker. Yeah, go on.
I've been invited to 2 weddings on the same day.
Right.
The kicker, they both want me to be groomsmen.
What? So they just both? Am I missing something?
I've been invited to 2 weddings on the same day. The kicker, they both want me to be like best man.
Okay. Well, that is big. What do you do?
Do you go to one? Do you go to the other? Or do you just not go to either?
I think it depends. It depends. So there's so much you don't like. How close are you to both of these people?
I'm assuming you're quite close. I'm assuming you're like G group.
If it's like our group,
yeah,
I'll slap them both in the face and go, you both dickheads for putting it on the same day. I ain't coming to either. Like, do you know what I mean?
So ask your wives to be, can you mash it up?
We would definitely... the boys would be up for a joint wedding. But the girls would not be. No way. What are you doing? What are you doing, Jack? It's a hard one. It depends on how close you are with these people, innit?
I just don't imagine I'd be why would you want me as a groomsman?
I ain't ever having you as a groomsman, but we're doing hypotheticals here, Jack. Alright? You're good as a getaway driver and that's about it.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
so I'd probably use that skill. I'd be like, right, what are the times? What's the distance? Let me see. Because if I can slap one out, I can bang the other one out. right? And then after that,
They said the same time, right? Or is it just the same day?
same day.
Oh, in that case, I'm doing both. Yeah.
You just got to find out the distance. Find out the distance, and then if you can do it, you go for it, bro.
Oh, fucking hell. So this other one I posted, this woman, right? She goes, "Today I embarrassed myself at work."
Oh, okay.
With Google Translator. So my co-worker is using my second desk temporarily while they have his office being set up. He feels bad about taking my space, but truly I don't mind. I cleared him some space in my drawers, left him a charger for the mouse, and so on and so forth. He sends me a thank you text on the messaging system every day saying thank you. So I sent him one back with a version of mi casa y su casa. Only my desktop is your desktop. Thing with it, she don't speak Spanish, so she plugged it into the Google Translator. It comes out as a bad typo that reads out to the whole entire office. It is, my desk is your dick. Apparently, the office currently have posters and shirts being made.
I want a shirt.
You want a shirt? Should we get shirts?
My desk is your dick.
My desk is your dick.
How do you cope with that?
Because that would never leave you. And you got to think, every new starter is going to know that about you.
I imagine the Christmas parties.
The Christmas. You get Secret Santa. I know what you're getting. You're getting a dildo.
Someone's just going to slap him like a dildo straight on the desk. And bang
They might even get a mini desk and just put the desk on the dildo and give it both to him. Like have a desk on a desk with a dildo.
Do you reckon a baker could make a massive cock to slam a desk and a cake?
Yeah, he could. Oh, we would be so creative if one of our friends done that.
100%.
Oh.
So, this one's shower thoughts.
Okay.
Baby clothes have pockets, but babies don't use them.
Yeah, it's looks only. Yeah. Yeah, that broke my mind for a little bit. No, they use them. Sweeties. If they have a sweet or two. No, they use them. They use them. I'm just trying to break that stoner thought. Because I'm trying to do this now.
Okay.
I do this a lot. I have a thought when I'm super, super late.
Well, this
right,
one should
super
be alright for
baked.
you then. You're late only if you show up.
No, you was late anyway. You was late anyway because you never turned up. So yeah, you were late.
You're late only if you show up.
Yeah. Fuck you. Could you imagine if all politicians had to have a digital ID which showed them who they met up with and who they take money off of? So like for their presidential runs, if they had a digital ID that tracked all that stuff and you could find out, you'd definitely find out how many of them saw Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, Jesus.
I can't believe that none of the information is getting brought out. Do you know what I mean? Maxwell got convicted without any documentation of the victims being, not even the victims, the complainants and all that sort of being released. Absolutely insane. Could you imagine though? That would be so sick if you just Google Trump because he was a politician
and you could see everyone he got money for. Oh, Jesus. Imagine and they all had bios, like their profile pictures.
I'm Vladimir from Russia, not the Putin.
Zimbabwe drug lord. Being fluent in English is knowing which rules you can ignore.
Oh God, I know so many rules we can.
Yeah, you know. Do you know if someone's just like, oh, you got a friend from like another country, and they come over and say, oh, you can't do that in my country. It's alright. I know it.
So this one is I, 18 female, found my boyfriend, 19 males, piss bag.
What?
Yeah. So I usually stay at my boyfriend's, but I was going to meet my friend, so I asked my boyfriend to drive me home. When I realised I forgot my phone in his room, I told him he could wait in the car while I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I go into his room, looking everywhere, with no sign of it. That's when I decide to look under his bed. His nephew, 17 Mal, was looking with me. I checked under the bed there. That's when it happened. There was a yellow zip bag that looked to be full of some unknown liquid. I poke it.
Bag.
Yeah, I poke it and then ask his nephew if he knows what it is. He picks it up, and in that moment, he realised, and I realised, this was most likely fucking piss. Right? So, his nephew is absolutely disgusted.
Yeah.
And so was I. But I still wanted to give my boyfriend the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
So because the idea of me sleeping above a piss bag wasn't something I'm fucking happy about.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Okay.
At least
So-
you're above it and not on it.
Yeah. So she enters the car, right, with no phone and a confused and grossed out expression on her face. Her boyfriend, of course, asks what's on her mind. She tells him, I found this little contraption, and asked him if it was piss in the bag. He gets extremely defensive immediately, tells me that most men, right, have a piss bag underneath their bed, and that I'm being dramatic for telling him maybe not to do that. Let me get this straight. I do not have a fucking piss bag under my bed. This man is an exception.
I'm trying to imagine what kind of bag is it? Is it like one of
It's like a sandwich zip bag.
Nah.
That's what a zip bag is.
You
That's what a zip.
You can't piss into a zip bag.
Maybe he's
and then
pissing in a
close-
ball and he's pouring the bottle into the zip bag and reusing the
It's
bottle.
got to be one of them like the drinkable bags, but he's just taken a hose out and put a cork in it or something, and he's just pissing it through that. That's what I'm thinking. He's got a hydration bag and he's just pissing into that.
He's got to be an extreme gamer. That's the only thing I can think of. Is this man a gamer? Do you think he just sits there on his computer
or is
all
he
day?
extremely depressed?
He just doesn't get out. He's got a girl at least. Better than you and
She
me.
might be the reason.
You're not wrong, yeah. Maybe that's why we're doing so well. We're not doing well at all. We're not doing well at
I
all.
was dating a girl and she was planning a fucking wedding, bro. 3 months in.
After
She's like, I'm not spending 50 grand on a fucking wedding. And she went, oh no, it doesn't have to be 50, more about 30, 40. What?
Oh my god.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's a question.
Yeah.
Do you think a wedding is worth it? Or is it just something for you for the girl to get out of dress and go out and have a party and that?
No. So I do think it depends on the situation. It depends if you have kids. That's the biggest thing. If you plan to have a family together, then marriage is very, very good because there's a lot of things that don't get taught in school that you get constitutional rights. So it's things like when your partner dies, you have the right for their burial, their things like that.
Right, yeah.
Their possessions,
Yeah,
wills, so on
yeah.
and so forth. Next of kin, if anything happens, then you get, or let's say they're put on a life support, or you have to look after them because you're married. You get those rights, and I think there definitely, again, if you have kids, you get rights to those kids when you're married. More rights than if you're not. And I think there's a thing called like marriage tax. You get deduction or something like that. Like helps with finances. Helps when you're buying a house as well. If you're buying a house when you're married, it means you're more stable. And again, for certain schools and certain things, it's good for kids and so on and so forth. So I definitely think that there are benefits to marriage. I don't think marriage is for everyone though, and I definitely think that it's definitely optional if you're not.
Are you going to get married?
No.
No?
Well, it depends. It depends. At this moment in time, I don't see the necessary need to because I don't see myself having a family. But that's how my current is.
To marry.
Yeah, but the main thing is a family. So,
Yeah.
so someone could come into my life, but I still don't want a family. If my mindset changes, because that person may have come into my life, or other things that make me, I might have grown older, that make me want a family, then yeah. But at the moment, I'm too focused on what I'm doing to want a family. So marriage wouldn't be the ideal option for me. But someone who's got having a family and so on and so forth at our age, yeah, I definitely suggest marriage if you're in a stable enough situation. I definitely think everyone should remember prenups are a thing, and I think prenups, everyone should do them. In general, just women and men, just because there are plenty of cases where women earn more money than men, and I would say I'm a very much advocate of if I say it to be done, then both genders to do it. And I think both people who are getting into a marriage should be aware that prenups are there if you are earning more than the significant other. Just because, again, you've got to be realistic. Like people are in love at the time, but sometimes marriages don't work.
Yeah.
And you need to be aware of that as well. You need to be aware that when you're getting married, that you might not necessarily be married forever, but you're making a decision that is good for yourselves in that moment and possibly for the future, you know. What about yourself? Are you going to get married?
No.
No. But do you agree where I come from, or do you think...
I agree where you come from, but
Yeah.
I'm just, nah.
No, definitely not. Not at all.
Not worth it. Not worth my money. Not worth my time.
So, one sec, there was another conspiracy here. So, apparently, there was a time in 1928 where the LAPD couldn't find a missing child publicly.
Okay.
No, couldn't find a missing child.
Mm-hmm.
But publicly, they reunited the mother with some random child. When just 2 seconds. Let me back up. All right, random child. When the mother found out that it was a random child.
Yeah.
They then institutionalized the mother when she was trying to come out for the story. Instead of admitting that they had mistaken the child, they had done this and then it had come out.
Yeah, no, the police sucked back in the day in America. They were so bad.
So
They
fucking
didn't
bad.
care.
How terrible is that? Could you imagine? And then it all comes out. It all comes out afterwards.
And then they introduced
right, and you get no repercussion. You've been institutionalized. Yeah, now you're out, but like, fucking crazy.
No.
I've got another funny long one.
Okay, go on.
Kind of funny long one. So,
Right.
I cheated on my husband 3 years ago while travelling for work.
Slag.
It was a one-night stand. We didn't exchange numbers or keep in contact.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know his last name.
Mm-hmm.
Until last month, I've never told anyone about this event.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I cheated. I didn't really care because the marriage was really, really rocky and I felt unappreciated.
So you go slap someone else? No.
But my husband and I reconnected during quarantine and I started to feel extremely guilty. Last month, I thought I would try going to confession with my local parisher priest.
Oh, okay. Why do I feel like this is going?
He said I need to tell my husband as a part of my penance. I wasn't really sure how to do this, so I sat on it. Don't know. So that was last month.
Right.
Yeah. Last weekend, so roughly 3 weeks later,
Okay.
I came home to my husband throwing all my shit out of the bedroom and trying to kick me out the house.
Right.
He knows everything. Apparently, the priest come up and said to my husband he was here to talk to see how things were going between them two and how he was taking everything. When the priest found out that I hadn't told my husband, he told him the whole entire story.
Oh.
And she's wondering if he broke any kind of like rules or anything. Could you imagine going to a confession, going to your priest? He had his boy's back.
Oh.
He had his man's back.
I respect the priest. Oh my god. Imagine that though.
Imagine being with the woman for 3 years and finding out it happened 3 years afterwards. And knowing to yourself that it was Rocky, right? Thinking it was Rocky because of you, right? Where it could have been Rocky partly because of you, but it was also Rocky because she cheated. That's going to have an effect on your fucking relationship. So you've then put all this fucking work on to then finally get her to a point where she's now feeling guilty, and you're getting on to a point where you think, right, we fixed this relationship, we're going to have it sorted. For the priest to then come back and tell you that she cheated 3 years ago, after you've nearly got everything sorted. Because you would tell the difference, do you know what I mean? You would tell things
He had no idea.
But I'm saying you would tell within the dynamic between the two of you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know when you're going for a rocky month or week.
But you know you're going for a rocky part. So he had no idea. So when she come back, they reconnected through lockdown.
He had an idea. A lot of men have an idea. They have an idea. Someone's not an idea she cheated, but had an idea she was unhappy. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
So you have an idea that
you have an idea that it's not working out.
Exactly.
And you want to sort it out.
And then you've put all this time in for it all to be sorted out, and then to find out
via a priest.
You thought you had all your shit.
You know it's real because it's a priest.
It's a fucking priest. Fucking priest. What are you supposed to do? You can't tell. Like, you can't say she's lying. Like, well, she can't say she's lying.
I personally think that was fair play. I personally think that's fair play. Yeah. Fair play.
Insane. What a way to find out. It's not from one of your boys or anything like that. It's from a priest. You'd be so shocked. You'd be like,
I thought there was going to be a twist if that geezer turns out to be the priest.
Could you imagine? That would be so funny. That would be so funny.
Nah.
So, one last thing I've got
Go on.
is this girl, or this person, done... This is why America is crazy.
Yeah.
Done CPR on a crash victim until the paramedics arrived.
Okay.
Through request over the phone. They said I saved her life. I'm now being sued for breaking her ribs. What do I do? How?
When you give CPR, it's.
But if you're told to do it.
Yeah. So
it's not your fault.
But just you're gonna break ribs if you're giving CPR. Just ask the question. Did you want to live? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then this is over. Piss off.
Yeah. Literally, fuck off.
If not, just run her over. Just go run her over.
If you I don't see how some people can be so ungrateful. You've had your life saved. You had your life saved, and now you're just gonna fuck it off.
She probably failed the crash. She was probably the reason the crash failed, and now she's trying to sue someone else.
Yeah. Take the blame off of her. That don't surprise me at all.
That wouldn't shock me at all if that was the case, man. Honestly. Oh God.
And I think that's everything, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure that's done.
Yeah. So that is everything for this episode, guys. We hope you